The Honorable Minister of State, Labour and Employment, Barrister Kiru, the Director overseeing the Office of the Director overseeing the Office of the Farm Secretary. You civil servants, you are the ones creating it. Other directors that are here, our noble friends, comrades, ably led by the President of the NLC and also the Secretary of the NLC, very eminent executive of the Nigerian Labour Congress that are here, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me, it is an honor to be before you today as the Minister of Labour and Employment, together with my colleague, the Honorable Minister of State, Labour and Employment, representing the government's commitment to addressing the recent crisis and nurturing economic advancement in our great nation. I appreciate you honoring our invitation and look forward to productive discussions with you going forward. In recent months, our country has witnessed teething challenges marked by industrial actions and unrest that have adversely affected the economy. I appear before you today not just as a representative of the government, but as an advocate for constructive dialogue, aspiring to understand your concerns and working hand in hand to find lasting solutions that benefit all Nigerians. I fully acknowledge and appreciate the invaluable role the NLC plays in championing for the rights and welfare of our workers. Your dedication and tireless advocacy have been critical in shaping a fair and inclusive work environment and ensuring the well-being of our workforce. We acknowledge the valid grievances that have fueled the recent labor crisis, and we are committed to addressing them in a just and equitable manner. We must also recognize the economic realities that confront us. As we address the concerns of our workforce, we must be mindful of striking a balance that promotes economic growth and secures sustainable progress for our nation. Today, I call upon each one of you to join hands in an open-minded and constructive dialogue, enabling us to bridge any gaps that may exist between the interests of workers and the ultimate goal of driving economic advancement. In the spirit of unity and with utmost commitment to the betterment of our nation, let us seize this opportunity to listen and understand one another. Together, let us explore innovative approaches, reimagine strategies that enhance working conditions and worker benefits while nurturing a robust economy. I am confident that this gathering will produce resolutions that propel our labor sector towards greater strength and our beloved country towards a brighter future. We eagerly look forward to our discussions today, knowing that a harmonious collaboration between the government and the NLC will facilitate an environment where our workforce thrives and our economy flourishes. Thank you very much, and once again, welcome to everybody.
We came with mixed feelings on whether it will work or not, because we have had so many meetings, some beyond this level, and nothing seemed to be coming out of it. But as great optimists in the Nigerian project, we can't stop trying. So we are here with that belief that something may happen. But that doubt, that trust gap is yet to be filled for a long time now. And it calls for lamentation. We agree with you that there's need for productivity and for an all-inclusive engagement. And we talked about the effect of the strike that might have taken place in the last few weeks or months. I think we should look at it from the point of cause and effect. The strike is an effect of a policy that doesn't have human face. There was no strike before the issue of removal of fuel subsidy and promises. In fact, it was the government that said, ask for palliative, ask for wage. And we have asked for it, and we couldn't get any. That strike was a product of frustration, warning strike, up to this moment. And we hope that the Honorable Minister and your team will all put heads together as Nigerians. I don't know how you are managing the pressure from people from the village and other areas. It is not equally true that the strike affected a lot of man hours, because even by policy of government, state governments, they were asking workers not to come to work for certain days. In fact, officially, the government in some states have reduced man hour. So where lies productivity? When you tell workers to come to work for 2 days, and when it is strike for 1 day, it now affects productivity. I think we should have a synergy on this and actually look for what we are looking for. In many states, they ask them to come to work 2 days. Now, but if you now have strike of 2 days, that is the one that will affect productivity, not the official one declared by government functionaries and governors. So we must work together, sir, so that we don't keep on dragging this in. It is our Nigerian people that have been affected. We are the people that are suffering. We have a lot of demands, that we have discussed with government, put on paper. Issue of CNG, issue of a refinery working, issue of cash transfer, issue of wage award. On all these agreements, not even one has been addressed. And you want us to meet every day. It's not like the issues are not there. If anyone has been addressed, we could be having patience that tomorrow this one will be affected. We left all of them. And then we enter in a meeting, we finish meeting, tomorrow we'll come again for meeting. I think there's meeting liturgy, to some of us, that these things we are meeting, are they really working? Some of us have been around for a long time doing this business. Our job is not each job of strike, but when we enter into an agreement, that agreement will be obeyed, because each party enter into agreement genuinely, sir. It's not by compulsion. Before that warning strike, we raised this issue of palliative, the issue of wage, and then we raised the second issue of the version of the office of the National Union of Road Transport Workers. So under your watch, a trade union office has been violated. Police invaded it and removed the elected officers of that trade union office. They went ahead and killed somebody. As we talk now, those people are behind bars. A president and general secretary of a union. It has never happened anywhere in the world. You plot a coup against a union, you remove their leadership, and somebody announces himself as caretaker committee chairman under the watch of the Ministry of Labour. If the problem there is too much, you summon the party, sir. If you can't handle it at NLC, and you attend to it here in the Ministry of Labour, that's your constitutional duty. But to keep them behind bars and we are negotiating here, what are we negotiating? President and general secretary of a union, duly elected, you send police to send them away there, and then they are behind bars the 5th day, and we are here. And I'll finish meeting with you and tell you that I'm going there to maintain peace. Even on that point alone, our strike action will move ahead with it. But I need to tell you this, sir, that it is not done. It's a coup. It's worse than the coup happening in some African countries. If there is a problem, I went and met with the IG. I said, ask all parties together where they're here. If the NLC can't handle it, take it to the Ministry of Labour. Those are the people entitled, and the police remained there. There was shooting, and then they arrested president of a union up to now. And the people that invaded their office are moving freely in this country. And we wrote Mr. President that these young men are dropping your name. It's not good. Up to now, no comment from anywhere, sir. And you think all of us here were comfortable, running unionism when our office could be invaded with police and army tomorrow. And with what is happening, you can't go to any international forum, they will embarrass you. That trade union offices are being violated. So, sir, I felt I should mention this to you, and it's not worth staying away from this meeting without us bringing this to your notice. But as we meet today, and our colleagues are behind bars, by virtue of police contrived action, for over 4 years, nobody's head has been broken in the National Union of Road Transport Employees before police entered there and started fomenting trouble. So, sir, address this while we have other myriads of discussions. We are going to discuss with you today. We're going to find solutions to this, but we will not do any action without any result. You know, it is tiring. You know, we will be open to you, and we feel that you should be able to know what is happening in the country, how our members are suffering. Nobody, and I repeat, nobody, earning 30,000 or even 60,000 can buy fuel for one tank. That's a fact. So we need to go to work, you know, and see what we can achieve. It's not meetings, sir. You know, we have answers, solutions to all these problems, you know, and we have articulated them. Each time we finish, they ask for 8 weeks, we gave them 8 weeks. They ask for another 4 weeks, we gave them 4 weeks. We don't know what to tell our colleagues. We don't know what to tell our members today. So at the end of this meeting, we hope that concrete answers will come from this meeting, especially from the Honorable Minister level. You know, a lot is before your shoulder now, you know, and this a neck-breaking meeting. We wish you well. We have sent a congratulatory letter to you before. We want to congratulate you once more and say, may a road be rough. Thank you very much.
The intending the preparation for the strike, and then some of the issues that the labor had given to the federal government. I must say that our meeting was very robust, and we had a very, very fruitful meeting. But at the end of the day, many of those items that we left are still for consideration, and before the final agreement, or what I would call discussions. But like I said, it was a very fruitful meeting, and I thank the NLC for coming to this meeting and for also the very useful contributions. I think I will stop at that.
Like the Honorable Minister said, we had a fruitful deliberation, and we have agreed to continue to make sure we arrive at a meaningful agreement within the remaining days of the ultimatum. We equally discussed, frankly, the issue bordering the coup plotted and executed by the Nigerian police against the National Union of Road Transport Workers, which has led to the detention of their democratically elected national officers. And both parties agree to show concern towards the resolution of the matter, because it is one sore area that the trade union movement in Nigeria is not ready to compromise, whether queue in the trade union movement or in the policy. So it must be condemned, whether it's in Niger, whether it's in Congo, whether it's in Mali, or whether it's in the trade union movement in Nigeria. And to that point, I wish to end on this note to say we have a convivial deliberation with the ministry, and we hope that even if it is remaining one day, we'll get to the root of all this problem. Thank you very much. In the ultimatum we gave in the NEC resolution, the issue of NURTW was clearly stated there. And it was at a time that the situation had not degenerated the way it degenerated today. And we forewarned. You know, and then that was why we equally had to bring it along with others. On the other issues, you can see that there's no agreement on any or no implementation. There is no CNG anywhere. The refineries are not working. Wage award, transfer, there are also issues. So those are issues we believe that between now and the next few days, when the ultimatum will expire, that something will happen. So, and it's possible that something could happen. So that is where we are.
What is the next meeting? Continue? And when?
Whenever we are invited, we'll be there.
In the absence of compliance with your demand, and the deadline expires.
That's where we are. The ultimatum is that if this thing doesn't happen on the so-so date, ABCD will happen. That's where we are.
Okay, we agree that this meeting was fruitful, but can you conclusively say it was a deadlock?
It was not deadlock because there is discussion. And discussion is a kind of, it has an open, it's an open-ended one. That we can meet again this night. We can meet tomorrow morning. But both parties will work towards the realization of these objectives before the last minute of the ultimatum.
Was there any technical committee set up? If you say you are working,
there can be a technical committee. When a larger committee has set up technical committees, the ministry has performed its role to mediate and conciliate in the problem between us and the federal government. So that was why they called for this meeting. But as a committee, kind of inter-ministerial committee at the presidency level, who are supposed to address this issue, the Ministry of Labour can't give you wage award. They can address the issue of CNG. They can't address the issue of refineries and all those ones. So they have mediated. They have mediated to make sure that there is no problem, or that they will get both parties to resolve these issues.
What will government do for you to suspend the action on Thursday?
What government will do?
What one thing should they do for you?
It can be government will definitely address our demands.
Has this meeting restored your trust as government in the ability to?
We are not talking of trust now. We are ready to engage, which is part of our responsibilities. Either in the night or in the day, we'll continue to engage. But not engage at gunpoint. When we were invited for a meeting on a Monday, when our warning strike was to start on Tuesday, and it was a directive given by NEC, I didn't have the competence to reverse it.
But in the situation where, for instance, the federal government in the short term decides to take care of your request as far as the NURTW issue is concerned, will it make you rethink the issue of the...
That's neither here nor there. That one is, as it affects the independence of a union, the violation of trade union rights, which is condemned all over the world. That one has nothing to do with subsidy removal and its, the consequences arising therefrom. So that one was on even before this one. So we had to address the two. Because those people should be part of us in this meeting. They should be part of us even if we are taking action and you take them away. So it's like elimination by substitution.
Okay, Presi, finally, it appears there is a divided organized labor, because usually in the past you have TUC and NLC. Why are they not here? And were you invited together? Is there a divided organized labor?
Well, let me answer you honestly. The NLC has been the foremost labor center in this country. Foremost. Before the birth of TUC. And without prejudice, TUC has its own independence. They operate. However, you have been going to ILO. In every ILO is the NLC or any international organization that is invited. And any other trade union, there may be 4 to 10 tomorrow, will line behind NLC. That is the position of NLC. Do you still doubt it?
Thank you.